Welcome back to the grand laboratory of your own existence. We have spent our previous journeys together performing deep renovations within your biological temple. You have felt the liberation of your vessels as the ancient plaques dissolved. You have witnessed the purification of your crimson stream, and you have restored the power of your silent governor. But today, we ascend to the highest chamber. We reach the throne room where your consciousness resides, where every thought is born, and where the command of your vitality is issued. I am speaking of your brain, the throne of vitality. For decades, the establishment has told you that mental fatigue, forgetfulness, and the heavy shroud of brain fog are simply the inevitable taxes of time. They want you to believe that your mind is a machine that simply wears out. But I am here to share a piece of forbidden health wisdom that remains unspoken in the bright halls of modern clinics. Your brain is not wearing out, it is being besieged. It is being suffocated by a microscopic phenomenon I call the neural sludge. Imagine your brain as a magnificent, high-speed city of 100 billion neurons, connected by shimmering golden threads of communication. In a state of purity, the signals move like lightning. But every second your brain is alive, it produces metabolic waste, microscopic debris and toxic proteins that are the natural byproducts of thinking and existing. In a healthy system, this waste is swept away every single night by a secret cleaning crew known as the glymphatic system. It is the brain's private drainage network, a system that the establishment only recently acknowledged, yet one that ancient wisdom has always understood. But in our modern world of artificial lights, chronic stress, and polluted chemistry, the cleaning crew has gone on strike. The glymphatic gates are rusted shut. Instead of being washed away, the waste accumulates, turning into a thick, gray neural sludge that coats your neurons and slows the lightning to a crawl. This is why you feel as though you are thinking through a thick mist. This is why the vibrant colors of your memories are fading. You are not losing your mind, you are losing your flow. In the next 24 hours, we are going to break this siege. We are going to learn the precise biological keys to reopen the glymphatic gates and flush the neural sludge into the abyss. You are about to reclaim the throne of your vitality. The fog is about to lift, and the lightning is about to return. Now that we have established the existence of the neural siege, we must develop the eyes to see its effects. The shadows of the fog do not arrive with a thunderclap, they creep into the corridors of your mind like a silent morning mist, gradually obscuring the landscape of your intellect. The establishment will tell you that these lapses are merely the gentle erosion of age, but I am here to show you that they are the visible footprints of the neural sludge. I want you to look closely at your daily experience, for the evidence is hidden in the very texture of your thoughts. The first shadow is the loss of mental sharpness, that frustrating, recurring moment when a familiar word or a well-known name sits just out of reach, behind a heavy curtain you cannot pull aside. It is the sensation of reading the same paragraph 3 times because the meaning refuses to stick to your neurons, as if the ink of knowledge is trying to penetrate a surface of thick oil. The second shadow is found in the quality of your waking life. Do you emerge from 8 hours of sleep feeling as though your brain is still wrapped in damp wool? This is the primary signal that your glymphatic cleaning crew has failed its nightly shift, leaving yesterday's toxic debris to contaminate today's thoughts. A clean brain should wake with the clarity of a mountain spring, not the heaviness of a stagnant pond. The third shadow manifests in your emotional resilience. When the brain is congested, the lightning of your logic is slowed, leaving you vulnerable to sudden waves of irritability, anxiety, or a strange, flat indifference to the world. The vibrant colors of your passions begin to fade into a monochromatic gray. You may notice that the world feels louder, harsher, or more overwhelming than it once did. This is because a congested brain loses its ability to filter the sensory noise of the modern environment. Even your physical coordination may whisper the truth, as subtle delays in your reflexes or a strange clumsiness reveal the friction within your neural pathways. These are not the signs of a broken mind, they are the cries of a throne that has been neglected. The establishment wants you to accept this as your new normal, to buy their temporary masks and chemical crutches. But we are not observing a permanent decline, we are witnessing a physical accumulation. Once you recognize these shadows for what they truly are, the mechanical results of a clogged drainage system, the urgency of the flush becomes undeniable. The fog is not your destiny, it is simply the byproduct of a siege that we are about to break. We must now move deeper into the laboratory of the mind to identify the specific molecular resins that have been cementing this fog in place for years. To understand the remedy, we must first understand the mechanical failure of the throne. The establishment focuses on neurons, but they ignore the space between them, the interstitial corridors where the true battle for your sanity is fought. Within these corridors lies the glymphatic system, a sophisticated hydraulic network that only activates when your consciousness surrenders to deep, slow-wave sleep. During these sacred hours, your brain cells actually shrink by nearly 60%, creating wide channels that allow cerebrospinal fluid to rush through like a powerful tide, sweeping away the metabolic debris of the day. This is nature's most exquisite cleaning ritual. However, we are living in an era of glymphatic collapse. The first cause of this collapse is the invisible assault of blue light and chronic cortisol. When you stare into artificial screens late into the night, you are signaling to your brain that the sun has not yet set, preventing the transition into the deep sleep stages required for the cleaning tide to rise. The gates remain locked, and the waste of yesterday is forced to remain, fermenting within your neural tissues. The second cause is the thickening of the fluid itself. Just as we discussed the red sludge in your vessels, your cerebrospinal fluid can also become viscous and stagnant due to systemic dehydration and the accumulation of environmental neurotoxins. Instead of a rushing mountain stream, your internal cleaning fluid becomes a slow, heavy syrup that cannot penetrate the deep crevices of the brain. Finally, there is the issue of physical alignment. Your brain's drainage is gravity-dependent and relies on the pulsing of your carotid arteries. Modern sedentary habits and poor cervical posture act as a physical kink in the hose, preventing the debris from exiting the skull. The result is a state of chronic cerebral hypertension, not of blood, but of waste. Your brain is literally marinating in its own metabolic exhaust. This is the forbidden truth that explains why you feel older than your years. The establishment wants to sell you stimulants to override this exhaustion, but that is like whipping a tired horse that is already carrying a heavy load. We do not need more stimulation, we need evacuation. We must restore the hydraulic integrity of the throne before the delicate neurons are permanently damaged by the rising tide of neural sludge. We have identified the siege and understood the collapse, now, we initiate the liberation of the throne. The 24-hour neural flush is not a chemical assault, but a precise biological choreography designed to reopen the glymphatic gates. This ritual begins exactly 6 hours before you intend to surrender to sleep. The first step is the cessation of all blue light and digital frequency. You must understand that the cleaning tide of the brain is triggered by the natural rise of melatonin, which acts as the master key to the glymphatic valve. By wearing amber-tinted lenses or dimming your environment to a warm, candlelight glow, you signal to your governor that the siege is lifting. 3 hours before sleep, you will consume the neural solvent, a precise infusion of magnesium threonate and epigenin, dissolved in warm, structured water. Unlike ordinary minerals, magnesium threonate is the only form capable of crossing the blood-brain barrier in high concentrations, relaxing the neural pathways and preparing the interstitial spaces to expand. Then comes the most critical physical alignment. As you prepare for the night, you must adopt the lateral restoration posture, lying on your right side with a slight elevation of the head. Clinical observation has shown that glymphatic drainage is significantly more efficient in this lateral position, as it allows gravity to assist the exit of waste through the cervical vessels. As you drift into sleep, the magnesium and the darkness work in harmony to shrink your neurons by the sacred 60%, allowing the tide to rise. The second phase occurs upon waking. To assist the removal of the debris that was loosened overnight, you must perform the lymphatic pulse, 3 minutes of rhythmic, deep breathing combined with gentle movement of the neck and shoulders. This acts as a manual pump for the exit valves at the base of your skull. Finally, you will break your fast with a high-dose infusion of neuroantioxidants, such as organic rosemary or high-quality DHA, to coat the newly cleaned neurons and prevent immediate reoxidation. In these 24 hours, you are not just sleeping, you are performing a deep hydraulic purge of your consciousness. You will feel the internal pressure subside, the mental static vanish, and the lightning return to your synapses. The throne is being reclaimed. As you emerge from the 24-hour neural flush, you will experience a sensation that is increasingly rare in our modern world, true biological silence. For years, you have lived with a background static, a constant mental hum that you had mistaken for the sound of existence itself. But now, that static has vanished. You will find that the world feels sharper, as if someone has finally wiped the dust from the lens of your perception. This is the awakening of the throne. The first thing you will notice is the return of cognitive velocity. The words you seek will no longer hide behind curtains of fog, they will arrive with the speed and precision of an arrow. Your thoughts will begin to flow in a seamless, golden stream, allowing you to hold complex ideas and deep focus without the crushing weight of mental exhaustion. This is not a temporary high or a caffeine-induced jitter, it is the natural, serene power of clean neurons firing in a purified environment. You will feel a profound shift in your emotional landscape, a sense of calm authority and renewed optimism that comes from a brain that is no longer marinating in its own inflammatory waste. The monochromatic gray of the siege is replaced by the vibrant colors of true vitality. Your senses will feel revitalized, the air will seem fresher, the light more brilliant, and your connection to the present moment more absolute. This is the gift of the glymphatic tide. You have not simply slept, you have performed a master-level restoration of your highest biological asset. The establishment wants you to believe that mental sharpness is a fading resource of the young, but you have proven that clarity is a consequence of purity. As the neural sludge drains away, the lightning of your youth returns to your synapses. You are now standing on the peak of your own potential, viewing the world from a throne that is no longer besieged, but liberated. You have ascended to the highest chamber of your biological temple, and the throne of your vitality is now pure. But remember, the modern world is a relentless tide of noise and toxins, always waiting for a moment of neglect to begin the siege once more. True mastery is not found in a single ritual, but in the wisdom to maintain the flow of your internal currents. To assist you in this permanent liberation, I have prepared a final strategic asset. I call it the Neural Tide Blueprint. This is a sophisticated, digital map that outlines the exact timing of your glymphatic windows, the precise dosages of the neural solvents we discussed, and the sensory protocols to shield your consciousness from the digital sludge of the modern environment. This blueprint is my gift to you, a permanent command over the clarity of your mind. You will find the link to claim this gift in the description below this video. Use it as your shield and your guide. You are no longer a victim of the fog, you are the sovereign of your own consciousness. Your journey through the vascular, the hepatic, and now the neural landscapes has transformed you from a passive observer into a master of natural longevity. But our exploration of the human mystery is far from over. There is one more reservoir of power that remains to be reclaimed, the deep mineral balance of your liquid crystal system, the kidneys. In our next gathering, I will show you how to perform the final flush to remove the crystalline debris that weighs down your physical pace. Subscribe and join our silent revolution of the spirit, for the lightning has returned, and your future has never been more vibrant. I am Dr. Silas Green. Keep your thoughts clear, your vessels flowing, and your spirit high. We shall meet again in the light of the next restoration.